Alright, welcome to our channel on how we did it. Today we're going to be putting together a Sektion base cabinet. These are pretty much all the same. Doesn't really matter as far as size wise. This one in particular is going to be a 15-inch. And what you're going to do is you're going to open up your box. You're going to get your pieces. These are your sides. This is the bottom. And this is your back panel. Okay? So as you go through the instructions, it'll open them up. It'll give you your tool recommended list. I typically use this. This is how we've been doing with all of them. Also give you out the hardware, what kind of hardware you're going to get in this box. And instructions are pretty straightforward. A little bit different than an upper cabinet, just in the fact that it doesn't really have a true top. So step one, we're going to be putting in these cam lock screws. And those are going to look like these. And they're going to go on the bottom side of your board. Now you want to be very careful and keep in mind on which side this groove is on the side of the board. So that's where your backer panel is going to be going, and it just kind of references which way is up, right, and down. So, all right, as you can see with the way we have ours set up, we have the groove on opposite ends.
Just like in the picture.
So what will happen is we build this out, and then we'll take this one, we'll flip it on top of that one to complete the cabinet. And that'll make more sense once we get going. So I'm going to install those cam screws. They basically just go in these holes. Down here. I don't know if they can really see that. Mm-hmm. Okay. And if you're going to use a drill, make sure you have a clutch on your drill. You set it, because this is MDF board, so it's not real hard to strip out screws in this. Okay, so after you get done with those cam screws, we're going on to step 2. And on step 2 here, you can see you're going to be installing your rail angles that are going to attach to the rail. Those are done by attaching these 3 screws into the board, and this kind of references where the top's going to be. So if you look over here, what you're going to see is you got the panel right here, we got the slot, we got these 3 holes, and that's where you're going to be fastening those 2. You're going to be using these little, kind of like a stubbier Phillips head screw. And again, I'll be just using my drill. Okay. And then you'll do the same for the other side. You want to kind of note how they're on opposite ends, because they're going to fold in on each other. Okay, and that's step 2. Moving on, you're going to go to step 3. Step 3, what you're going to see here is you're going to be putting your bottom board onto your side boards. Again, it's telling you to reference the groove that's cut into the boards. This is where the backer board's going to be sliding into. And here you're going to be inserting these wooden dowels. Kind of just gives it extra strength. Those wooden dowels are these, and they're going to be inserted on the bottom of the side boards. So let me grab those. So they're a pretty tight fit. Sometimes they slip right in. Other times you kind of have to tap them in with a rubber mallet. Okay. you're going to do now is you're going to be putting this bottom board over this sideboard. You always want to make sure these holes right here are facing towards the outside. This is where your feet are going to be attaching to, and this is where the cam lock nuts are going to be in. So you put that on, again, referencing the slot.
Because we
Sure
almost...
that lines up there. Okay. Now that that's on, you'll come over here. They'll show you in step 4. What it's showing you here is that you have your bottom board again. It's showing you the holes that you're going to be putting in these lock nuts that basically cam onto the screws you put in. Those look like these. You can see it. And if you pay close attention to it, you'll kind of see there's an arrow right there. That's going to be faced towards the edge of the board. Okay? And then you'll be turning these clockwise to lock onto that screw. So we'll put these in real quick. Right? Okay. Alright, so we're going to be putting them in. Again, paying attention to the arrow. We're going to want that towards the edge of the wood. So in this case, like towards the top, you're going to be putting them in like so. Arrow facing towards the edge. In the other case here at the bottom, you'll be putting them in. Arrow facing towards this edge. Okay, so we'll put these in. Alright. Then I recommend just using a regular screwdriver. Number 2, bigger. If you got a number 3, that'll work as well. And then just turn them clockwise, and that locks them into place. There's not really like a click. You just kind of feel it, kind of stops.
That needs to go down.
Oh, see how that went down? That's how it locks into place.
I'm gonna mute that.
What?
What?
Oh. Alright, so after that, you're going on to step 5. Step 5 is basically just putting your backer board into the slot. Your backer board right here. And it's going into the slot over here. So again, we got your bottom. This is going to be towards the top. You're going to have your notches towards the top. That just basically gives you room for these brackets. So that's all there is to step 5.
No.
So step 6, or I guess that's part of step 5,
Yeah.
is we're going to take this sideboard right here. We're going to flip it onto the other side of this sideboard. Okay. That's pretty easy. Make sure you line up your slots. You'll kind of feel it drop in when you get that done. And again, you'll just tighten up your cam nuts once you have that all lined up. Alright, so that's it for step 6. Step 7, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be assembling your top rails. Okay, and I'm going to have to grab a knife over here. So they come packaged in pairs in plastic. Just got to take the plastic off. And they look like this. Alright, so it's basically kind of like a U-channel. This part's going to be facing down, so when it's on the cupboard, you'll be seeing it here. These slots here, these are for attaching to your countertops, or your countertop material, and then you're just screwing these holes into the top of this cabinet. So what it's showing here in step 7 is you have a few clips that attach to the backboard, and this is only for the rail towards the back, as you can kind of see here. It's only for this rail. These clips that they're referencing are these guys right here. Okay, pretty simple. All they do is they slip in there. So you take the clip, slide it into this rail, has a little bit of a lip there, and then you push it down onto the other rail, and that's all there is to that. Just gotta find my little clip. Alright. Again, just put it in, tuck it under the rail, push it down. Okay. So part of it that you see here is that you're going to be attaching this to the back. You're going to be attaching it to the back with these screws right here. I don't know if you can see that. Get you a closer look. So that's what the screw will look like. It'll have a countersunk head. Okay. And you'll just be attaching it in the pre-marked holes. So as you can see here, we have 4 holes marked on the tops here, and that's where it'll be installed. Remember, you're going to want the top side to be flat and this towards the bottom. Okay, top side flat, this towards the bottom. Just put it on here, and then the easiest way to do it is to clip it onto the backboard first. Before you try to line everything up. I don't know if they can see it from there. Might get a better angle here. So you can see it kind of slips over the top board, or this backboard here. Gives it a little bit of more, I guess, structure, or a little bit reinforcement from flapping out. So just grab the drill, grab your screw, and find your marked hole, and drill it in. So what we've been doing, because we've noticed that some of these are out of square, we're basically tightening one all the way down. The other one we're kind of leaving a little bit loose. And this is so we can kind of adjust for square. So that's the back one, and we're also going to be attaching the front one. Alright, so as you can see in step 8 we put on the back rail. What they do is they have you on step 9 nailing in the backer board. What we've been doing, just for simplicity reasons, we've been actually installing the front rail as well at the same time instead of waiting towards the end. So if you want to do it that way, I guess feel free. We did it this way. Okay. So after you're done with that, you can see in step 9 what we're going to be doing is we're going to be nailing in the backer board. Things to pay attention is to make sure your backer board is all the way in your grooves. You're going to get these nails in a little package like this. You're going to attach them paying attention to the lines on the back of the board. So they have these dotted lines that go all the way around, and that's where you're going to be nailing it. You don't want to nail beyond that or inside of that. You want to nail on the line. So if you come back over here, you can see that line that we're talking about. So you have dotted line all the way around here on the bottom on both sides. Can you see that?
Yep.
Okay. So what we do is we take the cabinet after this part, put our nails aside, grab the rest of the hardware that we're going to be installing later, and we actually attach it and put it back here in our box so we don't lose it. Alright, then we take our cabinet and we just kind of flip it up to make it easier now. Alright, so again, back here in step 9, we're going to be nailing in the backer board. Step 10, again, referencing making sure everything is lined up, that you nail it on the line, and you're going to be nailing all the way around. That's right. Step 9, 10, 11, all of that. Step 12, what you're going to see is you're going to be installing these spacers. Okay? These spacers go on the bottom. Okay? And they go on the bottom and they basically kick the cabinet out from the wall to compensate for the rail attachment. That way the cabinet's not leaning in towards the wall or leaning out. So those get just nailed in with the same nails from the bottom.
Step 13 just goes over the additional nails to enter in around once you've nailed in the corners and the spacers.
One thing to note, what we've also been doing is we've been using the speed square and just checking the square up here on top. We've had one cabinet where it was actually out of whack, and I think it was just from sitting at an angle and it kind of had a little bit of a bow to it. So we just double check, make sure that they're square and that it's nice and straight before we start nailing anything in. Alright. Okay. After you're done nailing it in, you've got your spacers nailed in. Also pay attention, it kind of has a lip to it of an angle. And you can kind of see that. So it angles in. I put the angle into the backer board. Kind of acts like a, I don't know, like a keeper to keep the backer board from kind of popping out. Okay. And again, step 14, we already did by installing that rail, is that you're going to put in your feet. And on the cabinets, space cabinets, you're going to be only installing the front feet of the cabinet. And it's over here. Okay, so again, we're installing the feet. This is the box that they come in.
Okay.
Alright. When you open them up, you're going to get an instruction booklet. You're going to get a bunch of parts. You can go through the instruction booklet. It's pretty straightforward on how to do this. So one thing that I would tell you to note is you have these plastic tubes. One side is thicker than the other side. I still can't even visually see it, but it's true. You'll have a ring that needs to go on it. One side will fit tight, real snug. The other side, it'll fit nice and loose. So you want to make sure, just put it on the tight side. You're going to grab a cap. I'm going to put it on the bottom here. I'm going to grab the leg. It's threaded. And thread this on. And what you're going to notice on the leg is there's actually a little piece of plastic right here. It's kind of a guide to tell you where to stop. This is kind of like your standard height. This is where you need to start working from. Okay? And it'll kind of rest up against that. What you're also going to get in the package, these are the plates that the legs actually mount to, and this actually mounts to the cabinet. So those holes will get mounted in by this. So if you come over here, remember we have the cabinet sitting on its front facing side. So this is the front, this is the back. What you're going to do is you're going to insert the base plate here into the hole. Get it tight up against it. And then stick this part into the groove. And you're going to do that for both sides. So you can use 4 feet per cabinet, but I think it's only detailed out for 2. I guess another thing to note is you have these clips there in these boxes. These are for your toe kicks. So what'll happen is they'll actually clip around here and hold the toe kick board. Okay, so you want to make sure you save these for when you install your toe kick. Okay, so this, and that's it to the cabinet. All you gotta do now is hang it on the rail, level it out, and you're good.
One of the things I wanted to point out to people is this little knob, this little niche right here, right there. If it breaks off, don't worry about it. It, like Mr. Bear said, it's just a guideline of where the floor typically, where the floor's height typically is. If you go past that, it's no big deal. It keeps threading on higher than that, and that's okay. It's whatever level your floor is at.
The only thing to really know is if you go past that mark there, if your floor is really out of whack, you might have to trim your toe kick board. So.
But that's it.
Alright, well we're going to go hang this, and that's all there is to this cabinet. Thank you for watching.